And now, storyteller number 10 at the Moth. Please give it up for Andrea Roske-Metcalfe.
So the best way that I know to ruin everyone's day all at once is to get on an airplane with a baby. I had done this before, but only ever with my husband, and this time it was just our 10-month-old daughter and me, and I was nervous and overwhelmed at the responsibility of getting the two of us from point A to point B without incident. And as we were boarding, I noticed that everyone on the plane either glared at us or ignored us completely. And as I walked to our seats, I could see that there was already a man sitting in the aisle seat, and I said to him, "I'm sorry, you drew the short straw today." "That's okay," he said, and he sort of leapt up in joy. And so we got into our seats, and I was organizing like the car seat by the window and the baby in the car seat and all of our stuff. And at some point I realized that he has been talking to me since the minute we sat down, and I realized that this man is an airplane talker, and I am not. And I am especially not on this day because I have curated this flight experience, right? My baby has a full belly and a dry diaper and a car seat for sleeping, and I have all my favorite snacks and a stack of magazines, and this is gearing up to be the best 3 hours that I have had in months. And I am not going to sacrifice it for this man who is still talking. And at one point he says to me, if you need anything, like if there's anything I can do to help you, and I just snapped. And I turned and I said, "I think I have everything under control. Thanks." And I had gone too far. It was too loud and too rude, and we both knew it. And before I could even start formulating an apology, he just said, "It's okay. That's okay." And he put his headphones on, and I felt so bad. But also he had finally stopped talking. And so I just moved on and had 3 of the best hours that I had had in months. And then we were about to begin our descent. And so I pulled out the car bib. My husband and I had realized early on that our daughter was really prone to motion sickness. And if you've never cleaned vomit out of the crevices of a car seat, then you have missed out on the 7th circle of hell. And we had figured out that you could take one of those like rubber bibs with the pocket built in, and we put it on her every time we were in the car, and then the pocket would just catch the vomit, and it was much, much easier to clean up. And so she had been asleep this whole time, and I didn't expect that to change, but you know how when you're landing, like the air gets kind of bumpy, and I thought, well, better safe than sorry. So I'm putting this bib on, and it's a good thing I did, because as soon as I got it on her, she starts like vomiting in sheets, silently and in her sleep. She's just vomiting, and I start to panic because I have made it very clear to this man that I have everything under control. And I'm watching what's happening over here, and like the rate at which the vomit is rising in the bib is much faster than the rate at which the plane is going down. And I realize I am going to have to do something before we land, and I don't have enough hands. And so I swallow my pride, and I turn to this man, and I say, "I am so sorry. I don't even know your name." "Oh, it's Todd," he said. Oh, my God. Of course it's Todd. Okay, including new Todd, right? Have you ever met anyone named Todd who is not the most overeager person on the planet? "Hi, Todd. I am so sorry. I do, in fact, need your help. I have..." "Oh," he says. "Okay, what's the plan?" Like, he is all in. And so I tell him to grab the little white paper bag in his seat back pocket, and I say, "I'm going to take the bib, and I'm going to pour the vomit in the bag. And then I'm going to get the bib back on the baby before anything else comes out." "Good plan," he says, which is bonkers because, like, we both know this isn't going to end well. But that is what we did, right? Like, he opened up the bag, and I took the bib and very quickly, in slow motion, basically, like, flung the vomit in Todd's general direction And then I got the bib back on the baby real quick, and over here on the baby side, it worked. Like, everything went according to plan, and then over here on the Todd side, it worked. Everything went according to plan. I looked over, and he was just sitting there, just like turning down the edges of this little white paper sack. Great job, he said to me. And then the wheels hit the runway, and my baby woke up and started screaming the screams of a baby whose ears have not popped. And she was so loud, and it took all of my concentration to try to get her calm, and it took a while. And I finally got to the point where she was okay. And so I turned back so I could properly thank this man, and when I turned around, he was gone. I didn't even realize that we had already gotten to the gate and that people were already getting off the plane, and I looked up at this line of people in the aisle, and I could see him way up at the front, and he was just starting to turn to leave the plane, and as he turned, I could see that very carefully in his hands he was carrying a white paper sack. And I tried to find him at baggage, and he wasn't there. So thanks, Todd. Wherever you are, I did not deserve you that day.